What does it mean to be human? And what does it mean to be fully alive? Scientists and philosophers and theologians have been trying to answer these questions for centuries. Are we simply an assembly of cells and molecules and atoms and particles all joined and working together through some elegantly designed, masterfully engineered feat of machinery? Or are we soul or spirit simply having earthly experiences and temporal bodies that have no lasting value or purpose in the next world? For centuries, scientists and theologians tried to reconcile these two viewpoints until about the 16th century, when science began to call into question everything the church thought it knew about the world and what it meant to be human. That's when the tenuous marriage of science and the church finally fell apart, and it was a very messy divorce. And when the dust finally settled, the church got to keep the cathedrals and science kept the laboratories. But the custody agreement created a lot of orphans in the modern world. Some people stayed with the church, but a growing number of them no longer come home for weekend visits. Some people left the church and moved in with science after that breakup. Many of them today reject religion altogether. In Chapter 6 of Life After God, we explore some of the history and implications of this fragile marriage and this messy divorce, and how it has ultimately led to the dualistic, binary thinking of the modern world that separates God from creation and soul from flesh and heaven from earth and this life from the next and us from them and friends from enemies. We'll encounter there a God in the Bible many of us have never met, a God who is all-loving and ever-present, eminent, creative, responsive, unchanging but ever-changing. A God who does not stand outside of space and time, a God who knows and feels what it's like to be human, a God whose deepest desire is to help us humans be most fully human and most fully alive. And what we'll discover is that there are no bodies or souls, but only ensouled bodies and embodied souls, humming with divine spirit, entangled with one another, caught up in a dance of unimaginable beauty and unmitigated energy.